We're back for another exciting episode of The Spicy Life. I am your relationship expert, magnetic matchmaker, Spicy Mari. And to join me on this fabulous, amazing episode of The Spicy Life, we have the amazing, the incredible Segun Oduolowu. The crowd goes wild.
What's up? As they should. As they should go wild.
Gotta give you, that round of applause from the crowd. Okay, let me give you a little background on my amazing guest. Segun is a television host, journalist, producer, and media personality. But he's also an Emmy award-winning journalist, host, and media commentator known for delivering sharp stories with style, substance, and swagger. I didn't realize that was a prerequisite. He launched the award-winning Boston Globe today and appears regularly on CNN, News Nation, and Austria's Today Show, covering breaking news, bold headlines, and the biggest stories in entertainment. Whether anchoring breaking stories or moderating high-impact conversations, the same discipline and determination that made him a Division I basketball player and University of Houston graduate allows Segun to command the camera and mic with purpose, presence, and punch. The crowd goes wild.
No,
again.
that sounded good. It was almost like I wrote it.
Almost like you sent it to me.
Almost like I wrote it. You just made Segun Oduolowu seem super cool. So thank you.
You sound awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate having such a phenomenal commentator that we see everywhere in the streets, now in the studio.
I love it. Let's rap. Let's chat.
This episode is going to be about are men intimidated by a woman's success. But before we get into the juice of it, okay, and we hear all of your thousands of opinions, you have to start with our spice breaker.
Okay.
So the spice breaker is how we open the show to get you a little comfortable and intimate with us and vulnerable. You have to let everybody know what was the defining moment, the moment that you fell in love with yourself.
Fell in love with myself?
With yourself.
Oh, absolutely. So when I was a little kid, I remember I was in a play called The Elephant's Child, right? Rudyard Kipling, this is first grade, Mrs. Bush's class. And they called me in and they said, hey, we'd love for you to be a part of the play, school play. And I'm like, oh, I think such and such would be good, such and such would be good, such and such. I started naming my friends. And Mrs. Bush was, no, we want you to be the lead. We think that it would be you. And in that moment, I was like, well, okay. You just say, okay, you're a kid. And I remember getting up on that stage and doing this play and realizing that I loved the attention. I loved the applause. And I remember as I grew up and got to be in front of the camera, I would always think like, I'm better than that. Like I can do that. I can do that. And that first grade moment with Mrs. Bush was the first time someone had seen that saw it in me, like, yo, he can be the star, or he can be that thing out there. And that's always stayed with me, where I've always felt, especially as a journalist, some people want to be heard and some people have something to say. I'm both. I want to be heard because I have something to say. And it all started from that moment in first grade.
I love that. Because that brings up Mrs. Summers. Like, I have my defining teacher. That wasn't the moment that I fell in love with myself. That was the moment I fell in love with power.
Interesting.
And I was getting in trouble for talking too much at school. And my mom was like, well, do something with her energy. And so Mrs. Summers redirected my energy by making me in charge of the lemon drops. So based on everyone's behavior, they got a lemon drop.
Lemon drop.
Lemon drops,
like
the candy.
School. Okay. Like what school did you
You know the little sour lemon head drops?
Yeah.
And when she put me in charge of making sure that everybody else was behaving, and now I'm over here checking and correcting people, and I'm like, well, actually, you should be doing what you're supposed to. But that was, I think, my first taste. And I'm like, wow, how powerful, though, when your energy is directed according and effectively, right? Like what comes from it and what it exposes or awakens within you.
Yeah.
And so I love that you have that teacher story too.
Yeah, I have a ton of different ones that follow that, where if I ever forgot that I think I'm special, someone will remind me like, yo, you need, that's like, you're him too. Or like, you can do that. My sister has done that for me. My wife, of course, has done that for me. My daughter, there's different moments where that has happened in my life. Parents, etc., friends. But that teacher in first grade saying, we want you to be the star of this play. And me saying all these other people and like, nah, no, it's you.
Yeah.
That's kind of been a constant refrain that gets played over again in my life where, I love me.
And then you hand select people in your corner that also reflect that and push that and bring that out of you.
And challenge you to see that all the time.
You set it up according. You're like, so I don't forget you and you and you are going to remind me how great I am in case I forget.
In case I forget. in case I forget. You don't always get what you pray for. Sometimes you get it because somebody prays on your behalf. So I want all those prayer angels in my corner praying on my behalf if for whatever reason God doesn't give it to me because I prayed for it.
Ooh, see, this is, yes, I'm with that. Look, y'all pray for us now. Reason why I brought you on the show, I was recording with Fox Soul Late Night Love, and you were one of the commentators on there. And
Best commentators.
One of the best.
Yeah, best commentators.
And I loved, even if I had a difference of opinion with you, how great of a communicator you were and how firm you were 10 toes down in your opinion, okay? And so I was like, oh, I got to get him on the Spicy Live because homeboy is spicy. And so.
Very much so. Very much so.
But I loved your male perspective as well. And I think that that's extremely valuable. As when I do a relationship show, I'd like to balance it out with female and male guests that that are able to contribute to the conversation. That's the most important part, right? And that have insight. And so within your expertise, I also see you doing a lot of things around pop culture. And so, of course, I was like, well, I want to hear his opinion on what's going on with Cardi B and Offset. Because today's episode is about the success of a woman and if men are intimidated by that. And I think we follow celebrity relationships. And we see oftentimes within pop culture, we're fascinated about the highs and lows, right? We saw this couple get together who we already kind of knew might have a dramatic relationship because we got two celebrities here who are a little chaotic. And attempt to divorce not once, but then finalize it twice. And I want to get your perspective on what you think led to the demise of the relationship, but then also if it had to do with Cardi's success in the relationship.
I don't think it had to do with Cardi's success. I do think that, again, not to get too heavy, but it's like what's done in the dark will eventually come to light. What they were before they got together, that's a real hard stripe for that tiger to change. Like we know Cardi's background in the strip clubs, dancing, loving hip hop, all of that. And we know Offset with Migos, and there's been highs, lows, tragedy, all kinds of stuff in that rap group. You bring two dysfunctional people or two people who have dysfunction in their life, and you throw that life on screen every moment. So, if they go to the Met Gala, if they go, do they shoot a video, the music that they make, if they step out, they're in the hotbed of Atlanta or New York, like there's always a microscope directly on them, a magnifying glass to everything that they do. So it's not they become creatures or victims of their own success. And because they're victims of their own success, now anything that they have that goes wrong, boom. Like we can't solve it behind closed doors. We can't have that conversation because as soon as we go to a restaurant, wasn't Offset, wasn't he just at the Knicks game? Wasn't Cardi just at the Hawks game? And all of that stuff just churns up, and it's very difficult, especially they were younger. Again, we're looking at it maybe with the maturity of age or from a different point of view, but to be that wealthy, that famous, in that kind of a hot box situation, I don't think it's her success that's going to make Offset do. He was successful himself. Like, it's like, oh, she's got 50 million. All right, he's got 4. He ain't starving. Like the 10 million more she got ain't really going to do that. And Cardi ain't dropped an album in like 8 years. So it's not as, she was famous.
He has 30 million. She has 80 to 100.
Okay. 80 no, but what I'm saying is 30 million, Offset ain't starving.
I know, he's still a millionaire.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like.
But then why is he asking for alimony then? And for the kids to be full-time or majority, like her house to be the money. He wants dual, co-parenting or.
Sure.
What is it?
Where he gets the what's it called, alimony.
He wants alimony, but custody.
Custody.
He's asking for. I'm like, what is it called again? We don't got those problems.
Who gets the kids? Like, wait, what? Who?
We have full access to our kids.
Kids.
But he wants partial custody, but he wants her to be the main residence. But then he wants alimony. If you got 30 million, sir, why are you asking for alimony from your wife?
Flip it. That's a terrible question mark. Flip it.
Okay.
If he was worth 80 and she was worth 30, no one would bat an eye if she asked for alimony.
So why are we batting?
Because because society's created this image where a man has to be this thing. Where if he's a man, he ain't gonna ask for alimony from his wife. And there are some men who honestly believe that. But now we're talking about business and law, what's legally mine, what What if Offset is like, I wrote all those albums?
I think he is claiming that he wrote some of her songs.
So her success in large part is based off my pen. Pay me for my pen.
Allegedly.
These kids that we have, where they come from? Like, they came from my pen again, right? So pay me what you owe me. Because, and again, if the roles were reversed, no one would bat an eye. I think when we get into this, the way we look at things in society, we cannot say, how dare this man ask for alimony? And if it was flipped, say, yeah, no, she has every right to. Nah, it don't work that way. She's worth 80. She didn't make that 80 on her own. She had help with that 80. And if that help came from him, it's the same thing we would say. We say it all the time with athletes. Why does this woman get X amount of money? She ain't catch no passes. She ain't dribble no basketball. She ain't hit no baseballs, but she wants X amount of money for whatever it is she contributed to the relationship. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
But we're asking for fairness in a world that's actually not fair, though. That actually does conform and work around like gender-specific roles. That actually does show favor sometimes to the different genders. So why, when it comes to money, now we're like, well, let's be fair, when half of the things that us as women experience aren't fair with y'all?
We can't look at a conversation or a question of fairness with men and women and it ever be an honest conversation. To your point, I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to have been a pretty little girl who is constantly on guard, on edge, because the most dangerous thing to women in this life is men. We don't, like, the statistics show it.
Right.
You have to, so I can never understand that. And if we are entering it with that conversation of fairness, it will always be unfair. It will never, we'll never be able to have it a sane conversation.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a hypothetical question then.
Okay, but money different.
So, right, how about you guys, so that you know, Segun actually is married to a very successful woman, okay? She is like...
She is an executive.
We don't gotta put all her business out
I won't
there.
put all of her business out, but my wife is an executive in the corporate space and does, you know,
incredibly well.
It does incredibly well. We are very blessed.
She is
she's very
handling her
smart
business.
and very powerful, and rightfully so.
Okay. If she betrayed you, or if you guys fell out, would you also be like, run me my money?
If she made more than me?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
If she made, because we're not talking finance. But again, it's also how the falling out takes place.
Yeah.
If the falling out is, if there's acrimony in there, if like we are angry at each other, if we are fighting with each other and you are playing off of emotions make you do emotional things.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would never, for me, it's really simple. What is in the best interest of our children or our child or our family? So if we are getting divorced or if we were separating, we are both assuming now that this is in the best, is best for our family. Her paying me X amount of money, if that is going to hinder our child, then no, I would never do that. But if her paying me is going to help me be able to take care of our daughter, of course. Because
children these days cost 10 to 30 million. Yeah.
They do, especially if we're to live in the life we're accustomed to. Can I flip it, right? Because that had always been the big Chris Rock joke, right? I'm accustomed, you know, we were married and I'm accustomed to this. So if I'm married and my wife is making, you know, X amount more money than me and I've grown accustomed to a lifestyle and she falls out of love, I ain't going back to live in my mama's house because you fell out of love. Like, nah.
Because you don't rock with me no more.
Yeah, like if that's a choice you made not to rock with me, run that check. And it would be vice versa. If that happened, she run that check. And luckily, we all live in California where it's no fault divorce. So we can split that up however you choose.
So you don't think that emasculates him by him in some way asking or saying, well, I need this money?
Emasculate is what other people are looking at. Like there's people who are not in the situation, who never made the 30 million, let alone Cardi's 80 to 100, are saying, hey man, I'd never do that if I was in you'll never be in my shoes.
We don't have to worry about your thousands.
You can't afford the shoes. Like you're 100-aire, stay there. Like or 1,000-aire, stay there. Like we talking millions of dollars. We're talking about situations that the peanut gallery wants to weigh
Yeah.
in, and that's not their place.
Yeah.
Because as much as neither of us want people in our relationship saying,
Yeah.
you should do this for your husband, you should do this for your wife, we're looking at these celebrities, and that's also what contributes to why it goes bad and goes bad so bad,
Yeah.
so ugly, because everyone's weighing in and they can't escape it. Oh, hey, Cardi, I just saw the blogs, the chats, the
Yeah.
this, the that, the social media, they all weigh in. And as long as, and I said this when you and I were talking before, like this ring of us being married, anything that you allow inside of it other than what it's supposed to be, it's out of your control now. If you let people into your relationship and you let them weigh in
Yeah.
that don't live it, you just let them talk about it, then it's on you. And I think with celebrities that happens too often. They allow that peanut gallery, they allow those vultures on the side who are happy to pick at the bones of your dead relationship because it gives them content,
Yeah.
but they're not there to build you up. And so I can't let you tear down what you never built up.
I completely agree with that. Are you following her in court right now with her currently being sued by a security guard?
No, with Cardi, there's so many different cases.
You're like, which case are you
which
referring
case?
to?
Like,
the 2018
who
security
she
guard.
hit with a shoe? What did she do?
No, not the shoe. So recently she's been on the stand because, and I just, my Afro-Latina, got to show some love. She cracks me up. She's on the stand right now being sued by a security guard from 2018 because she was she had a hoodie on. She went into a OBGYN. The security guard starts recording her, wants photos and footage, and Cardi's like, get out of my face, curses her out. And she's 3 to 4 months pregnant. And the security guard is now alleging that she attacked her, scratched her, and Cardi's like, no, it's not true.
Yeah, this is where when I called her fat, I didn't mean.
Yes.
Right.
And so I feel my heart goes out because I'm like, dang, your ex-husband is now asking from you. Now these random strangers, you can't live a normal life where someone's not trying to figure out a way to take from you.
Yeah, I don't look at it necessarily that way. I feel for Cardi in this situation. The security guard starts recording her. It would be great. I'm going to my doctor's office.
It's such an intimate, private moment.
Exactly. And you're robbing me of this. You're recording me because you want something from me. You have no idea. Hormones, pregnant, vulnerable state. And you're recording me without my say-so, without my agreement,
Consent,
without my consent. And what happens is there's a large part of society go, well, you're paid lots of money, so that's what
so I'm entitled to this.
Right, that's okay. And that entitlement, and we will look at entitlement throughout this conversation, but the entitlement of the security guard, look, Cardi's entitled. If you put a camera in my face and I ask you to remove it, I'm entitled to slap the stuffing out of you.
You think you could hit somebody?
I think in that moment, if Cardi B had slapped the stuffing out of the security guard when I've asked you to get the camera out of my face, I would be Team Cardi. I know it's wrong. I know we're not supposed to resort
to put my hands on it.
I totally get that. And I know it's a complete trick bag because that's what the security guard wants so that we can be here in court and I can try and get you for some money. But there has to be a point where we look at what Cardi B and what celebrities go through by, again, a peanut gallery that feels that they have carte blanche to say whatever they want, put a camera on you. No, that's not right either. And sometimes, and it's my belief that we just don't run around slapping people in the mouth enough.
I don't think there's enough fear in people's heart for there to be an increase or level up to the level of respect that we should be having for one another.
We grew up in a time where before social media, you could not say stuff about people without seeing those people somewhere. Now people are they'll say the most evil, vile lies, not even truths about you. Then when they see you, oh, no, that was just content. No, we cool. Oh my God, I can't believe no. If you cannot get away with that. There has to be some mechanism that you cannot do that. But if you do, I should have retribution to see you and confront you. And shoot a fair one. What? You know what? You said this. I disagree. Let's go catch this fade and keep it pushing. Because
you're gonna get stones. We're gonna burn you at the stake. Something.
That's how it used to be.
It used to be.
And we didn't have as much of this. Oh my gosh, my anxiety, my blood pressure, my health, my mental acuity, we didn't have all of that. When you were able to confront your accuser or confront people in a manner like, you said this. What did you mean by this? I don't agree with this. I'm gonna put hands on you because you lying about me. people watched what they said.
Yeah, that's
now
true.
people say whatever they want to, and they think they can get away with
They're
it. I
not
don't
trying to
think that's right.
monetize off of your response.
Absolutely. You want to profit off pain.
Yeah.
My whole thing is if you want to profit off my pain because I'm having a bad day and you put a camera in front of me, then I'm going to let you profit off the pain, but I'm going to inflict some pain.
We both gonna be in pain.
Exactly.
Not just one, but two.
Yeah, you want to profit off pain, you're going to profit off pain.
Okay, I'm gonna circle to success.
Okay.
Because we could talk about whooping, a can of ass
For sure.
for a long time. Okay. I want to hear your take on, do you think that men are truly intimidated by women's success, or is that just a narrative that we as women are running?
I think it's a narrative that you as women are running. I do think weak men would be intimidated by a woman's success. I don't know why that would be unless you yourself are lacking something as the man in the situation, or vice versa, the woman in the situation. If you think of yourself as a star or a man of substance, why wouldn't I want my wife or my partner or the woman that I'm with to be of substance too? It isn't that she is successful. I think it's what we do with the success. It's how we handle the success.
How do we handle it?
It depends. Everyone is different. Some people throw it in the other person's face. That has little to do with the success, and that has more to do with the individual. It's the way they treat something, right? You cannot say that I want a strong, successful, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you get that, but then you're like, but they're not loving and they don't have time, or they're vice versa.
Yeah.
Like to be Cardi B or to be Taylor Swift, to be Beyonce, that is a process.
Yeah.
Now, what you're hoping as a man is that when I'm with you, you're with me. And she's with Jay-Z, Travis Kelce. I'm sure he's looking at Taylor Swift going, when it's Taylor and Travis, it's Taylor and Travis. And the world, hopefully when we're together, can fall away. I understand when we're out and if people see us out, they are going to flock to you because you are who you are. But never make me an afterthought. That's all. And that's what it should be. Our love should never be an afterthought. What we do to be successful, that's our business.
Yeah.
But our private life, that should not allow, the public shouldn't be in on that.
But I think that's easier said than done, though, right? Let's take
100%.
Jennifer and Ben, right? He got back with her, marries her. He knows that she is an icon and paparazzi is constantly everywhere, and that she uses her personal life for content and inspiration. But then he's upset about how much attention she is getting, or has communicated that it was too much for him.
Because I think he intimated that it was too much for him because she didn't give enough back back to him, right? Like, again, you're with an icon, you're with a superstar, you understand it, great. But when we're out, don't make me feel less than, or don't allow things to happen that diminish who we are, right? Diminish who we are. It shouldn't actually, to be fair, not even don't have people thinking that I'm just carrying your coat. That's not like that
you're the help.
Right? Like there's a viral video that I invite people to see where Tom Hanks, arguably one of the greatest American actors of all time, is out with his wife, Rita Wilson. And somebody bumps her, and calm, collected, cool Tom Hanks was like, "What the yo?"
He got human real quick.
He turned into, "You just mess with my lady."
Yeah.
Right. Regardless of who I am or what you think I am, I'm her husband. Don't bump my wife to come get to me.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like if we're out, don't allow someone to bump me because they want to take a picture. Respect is huge. And I think that's what's missing in the narrative that women are pushing of, oh, he just couldn't handle me because I'm successful. It has nothing to do with that. How'd you turn that off when you came home? The way you boss around all your employees can't come home and do that to me. Can't speak to me that way because I'm not them. I'm not one of many. And that's where I think women and men lose sight of this, where I'm successful, I boss people around. You can't do that with your partner. You boss a lot of people around. They're not a lot of people, and you should never treat them as such. When you do, or when that person feels that way and that feeling isn't understood, or it isn't believed, or it isn't even acknowledged, then there's a problem. But it's not the success, it's what you do with it. It's how you act with it, right? There's financial abuse. We always see women talk about financial abuse when it comes to men, where, look, if I'm paying for everything, then you got to jump this way. No, you don't. Ask, why am I paying for everything? Why are you allowing me to pay for everything?
Yeah.
All of those other questions. So that it's a broader narrative than she's successful, I'm a weak man, I can't handle that. It has nothing to do with it. It's what you do with your success, and vice versa.
Well, so to that, right? Successful woman, let's say even successful man. You're saying that how they treat each other based on that success. I think, though, that a part of what the challenge is that men are still catching up and not prepared for the crazy changes that has happened as women in the workforce have drastically, exponentially reached new levels of success. And I don't think that you guys as a collective were prepared for what that might look like. And us as women weren't necessarily taught how to pivot between taking, the cape off before we walk through the door.
Okay.
I think the expectation was like, similar to the examples that you're using earlier, Superman needs to turn into Clark Kent before you get home. And we're still learning how to do that. But I think that you guys don't have to do that. I don't think that there was a shift in your guys' energy of, well, you can't be as dominant. You can't be as bossy. You can't be, I think that you guys were given permission to continue doing that and being that. And you guys are still learning how to shift into a loving, way as well.
I wanted you to finish that whole statement without a male interruption because I did not want to get accused of the toxic masculinity that has become a buzzword that women created of us not taking that cape off. The energy is completely shifted. And we as men have had to adapt. Everything that we used to think was okay, we have now been told is not. You see the rise of the manosphere and bro culture. There's no rise of the manosphere or bro culture. That's just dudes doing what they did 10, 15, 20 years ago, being told that don't fly no more.
Yeah. And I think that's hard for you guys, though. I think that it's hard that women are asking you guys to reach new levels of intimacy, new levels of vulnerability, emotional intelligence, softness, and kindness.
No, you're asking us not to have new feelings. You're asking us to express those feelings in a way that you can understand them. But you're not also wondering if the way we express them is how we understand them. Dudes can be as vulnerable as they want. You see dudes cry over the championships that their team won that they didn't even play in. Men can cry, men can feel, men do cry. Dudes, we'll go out to a bar, have a couple of glasses of scotch, a cigar, and reminisce, catch up, cry. Love you, bro. Hey, stay up, man. But that's not how y'all do it. How dare you all tell us we have to feel in a way that is okay for you, but refuse to accept the way we feel and the way we show our feelings? And moreover, who says we have to show it the way you want to see it? Because there are women that accept us for who we are and how we display it. What's really being said and what really should be said is, I, insert name of woman, who's in relationship with man, does not like the way this man shows his emotion. And that man should be able to say, I don't want to show it the way you want me to show it. Can you deal with it? If the answer is no, go your separate ways. But do not blame men at large and say we are toxic or we haven't had to change. What we've had to acknowledge is that some women want more. Cool. Go find those men that are willing to do it. Stop painting us with this incredible paint roller that all men are like that, because all men aren't. And don't ever fix your mouth to basically say, oh no, I want a man to be the head of the household. So you want us to be like our daddies but not act like our daddies?
So this is where I have a challenge with because I teach this, right? I have very successful women coming in, and they're like, well, I want him to be a leader. I want him to, pay all the bills and da-da-da-da-da, and I want to put my little check to the side. I'm like, okay. But I also want him sensitive, and I also want him to make time to, go on multiple vacations, and I also want him to, let me cry on his shoulder, and I want him to cry on mine. I'm like, so you want you inside of a male body.
Thank you. Like I said,
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No,
This is a real conversation that I like talk about with my clients and audience all the time.
One of my
we want you to be more like us, but we also kind of don't.
No, it's
very complicated.
If you go back 20 years, there is a poem on Def Poetry Jam. This gentleman came up. It's a haiku and it's called Epiphany. And it is the greatest simple poem I've ever heard. He literally says, oh, she wants me to love her the way she would love her if she was me.
Correct.
That ain't happening.
But I think that's...
Because you would never let us do that. Oh, let me hit the microphone. I'm so worked up. Y'all would never do the reciprocal. You women have a hard time loving their man the way that man wants to be loved and shows you this. Let's say I'm the modern woman or a lot of modern women. Let me not blanket and paint roll myself. A lot of modern women seem to have this idea that their success is in some way diminishes me. It doesn't. As a man, if I'm looking at my wife and she's a boss, that's my wife. That is a pat on
and my husband claims credit. He was like, I built that. I'm like, okay, my husband will. I'm like, get your credit, baby. Go ahead, get your credit.
I built that, but I will say I recognized that when others couldn't. I locked that down and saw all of the stuff.
That's a good description, too.
Right? I don't have a problem with my wife being, because what she is and what she creates doesn't detract from me. But what this narrative is that, oh, he's challenged by my, why? What? Think of, like, if you think your man is challenged by your success, that means your man resents you. So why would you, the individual, stay in a relationship where the man is resentful if you are fixing your mouth to say he's intimidated by your success? Then what you're saying is that he would rather you be small. And if you're staying with the man that would rather you be small, that's on you. Because you've already identified it that the man has a problem. You staying, now that's your problem. And that's what I'm tired of. I'm tired of the blanket statements of women saying these men can't handle this. What are you talking about? You know how many men would be like, I'm so happy my wife is paying for half of this stuff. I'm so happy my wife is bringing home checks, but you can't say I'm successful, but I also want you to still do this for me. Again, if the roles were reversed, women never seem, that clamor never seems to make it to anybody's ears, where the man can be successful and the woman can stay home. We never think of her as less of a woman. You cannot look at things traditionally and then split that hair and say tradition is bad when it works on your favor, but tradition is good when it works in mine. Then you're dishonest.
I am biased and tradition works in my favor.
Sure.
But I'm very open with mine, right? I'm like, oh, I'm going to pretend that there's a level of incompetence here all day because I don't want to work that hard. Baby, take it over. Like, I'm honest with mine. I'm like, no. Don't ever think that I have it all myself. I need you, right? Like, I very much am pro in us vocalizing how much we need men, how valuable you guys are.
Say that again.
You men are so valuable to the culture, to society, to the world.
Yes, we are.
I adore you. And my responsibility is to help women fall back in love with you guys. I think the challenge that we see, and I too have experienced this, right? With all of my knowledge, all my degrees, all of, my tricks and my tools and my formulas. Also experiencing for the first time in my life, and in my family maybe even, success, right? My husband helped me get there and build. And now that I'm experiencing it, I'm still seeing the same responsibilities from a maternal perspective, right? That I didn't understand until I had a child. And I was like, oh, this is what women are complaining about. My domestic responsibilities, in addition to my professional responsibilities, are still there. Not as much has shifted, though, with the male level of success, inheriting and taking on more domestic responsibilities, I think, as quickly as our success is reached. I do think that there's a turn of you guys maybe embracing fatherhood, but that's always been something that you guys have prided yourself in. But the hands-on as much, do you know your child's teacher's name? Are you going to every single council meeting? Like, I think that we are still very much actively involved and expected to do it all. And you guys still have been granted, because you're so valuable, the ability to not have to be as hands-on as we are. And I think that for us, that has been extremely stressful. I think that we look at it as like, well, we need some elevation. Like, we need some more emotional support. We need some more hands-on. We need you guys to actually help us in the household more. I can't be expected to still do all of it as I also contribute to the household income.
All right, Mari, let's cut the crap. You said the dreaded E word, expectation, right? Who's doing the expecting? That's other women. It's other women that make women who are working and mothers feel less than, because men don't do that. Men, there's never, in the history of manendom, are we ever sitting at a bar going, you know what? She less of a woman because she a great mom and she works. We don't do that. Women do that to other women. Let's look at the numbers. There are, as you said, you have risen.
You up good because you spilling gems right here.
You have risen in salary. You have risen in education. There are more women currently getting college educations than there are men. There are currently more women going after masters, more PhDs, all major graduate degree level accomplishments. It is women. So anyone who is making the women feel less than is other women. Who is it? It's that 53% of college educated white women that voted for that dude, right? As opposed to voting for another woman. It's the people that allowed a narrative to go on that Hillary Clinton don't care about women as much as the dude who was attacking them. Like, let's call a spade a spade. Like, when you look at it, it's not men that are doing these things. And again, are women vocalizing in a way that their man can understand where they need help? Honey, you help me build my business, which means it's going to take me out of the house more. I need help here. If the man says, I ain't going to do it, you got a problem, you got an issue. If the man says, how can I help? Or what would you like done? Great. We figure it out. But it's not there's no cabal of men sitting there trying to make women feel less than for their success. I would challenge, as I said, that it's more women who are attacking women. It's the mommy and me groups that look at women and the strollers that they don't have. It's like, oh, you using that stroller? Oh, you using that car seat? Oh, you only drive. It's
you
women.
ain't lying right now. You are not lying. Let it out. Let it out, Segun. Let it out.
It's not men, because that's not how men that's not how we process stuff.
1000%.
We don't think, and again, maybe women are giving men too much credit. We don't even think in those terms. It's other women who are either jealous that you're able to do it all. Why would I'm a dad and my wife is this boss at work and is a great mom, and that I'm threatened by that? Like, that doesn't, like, to a man, that doesn't even compute logically.
Here's what when I try to help my clients, because what I'm really doing right now is not necessarily even vocalizing my thoughts and opinions. I'm speaking on behalf of my.
look at Mari's like, I ain't never think that. That ain't my thoughts.
Well, I'm speaking on behalf of what like my clients and my listeners are experiencing, right? Because this is what they vent to me, and what I have to explain to them is that we had a burning desire for detachment from you so that we could be independent and would not be forced to be married to men. So came the rise of women's rights movement, the workforce, and we quickly grew in finances, power, and our ability to divorce, right? We're usually the ones now filing for divorce. So we asked for more money. We asked for that independence and we asked for that power, okay? Y'all did not ask, though, for more domestic responsibility. Y'all did not ask for us want to do it. Y'all didn't ask for actually anything to change, okay? We were the ones that asked for change, and we're still the ones asking for change. What had happened, though, was we decided we were going to make these changes, and you guys didn't get a vote on that in the sense of, in the household, how that would look, and as a culture. And what I mean by that is, and I use this example often, as women, we asked for the ability to earn what you earn. You didn't ask for us to be able to earn what you earn. And you didn't ask for more, like I said, responsibility in the child rearing and household. So because these were our requests, we now want you guys to evolve with us. And we did not, I think, prepare you. I don't think that we consulted you. And I think that we pushed and we made change. And now we want you guys to catch up. And with that, I do feel, okay, I understand that there is some catch up that needs to happen. But then women are like, but we want them to come fully packaged. I'm not dating men who aren't emotionally aware anymore or who aren't sensitive and this and this and this. And I'm like, well, how did they get there? How did they get there? Because if they are emulating their fathers and history, whose responsibility is it to get them there? Well, it's not my responsibility. It's actually our responsibility. If we want you guys to be more tapped into your feminine, it requires the feminine to get you there. And so when the responsibility is put on us to actually help you in that evolution, it sounds more daunting. When it's put on you guys as being toxic and you need to figure it out on your own and you just need to go to therapy, then we can take the responsibility off of us. But we don't want to work harder than we already do, and take it under our wing to help you guys get there with that change that you didn't ask for.
So you want us to get to a place that we didn't. You want us to get to a place we didn't ask
that you didn't want to go.
No, not to say want. We didn't ask to go.
You didn't ask to go. You also weren't trying to go there.
No, but we didn't. And I'll tell you why we weren't trying to go there. Because the women that were asking for this had no idea where that destination looked like. All of these things that women asked for, they deserve. They earned. However you want to slice it, they earned it. They deserve it. But you didn't also realize what it looks like in that place. That you want to be able to earn like men do because you work the same hours, cool. But that is going to take you out of the house. That is going to take for whatever, the patriarch or the matriarch.
The patriarch.
However we want to look at it, it is still society, not society at large. Still look at the mom as the primary caregiver. Yep. If you are out working as many hours as your husband, give or take whatever, you are still considered the primary caregiver.
Yep.
Again, legally, you are looked at that way. Look at the numbers when people separate. More often than not, the mom is the one who gets either the majority custody or full custody and is looked at as the primary caregiver. And for all y'all out there, please do not talk to me about the exception to the rule where, well, I know a guy who got, stop. You know one guy out of 1,000 who did not. But you never knew that destination, what it was. And so to your point, 100%, you wanted something, you got that something, but you didn't necessarily know what comes with that something.
The consequences. I don't think we understood the consequences.
Didn't understand the consequences. And then at the same time are at a point now where, as you said, you don't want to articulate to men what you want with what you now have. You want us to figure it out. At the same time, you don't like what we're going to figure. You don't like the way, and you don't like the way we get to that figuring, right? Why can't you just talk to me? I ain't never talked to you. And you don't like the way I talk. Oh my God, why are you raising your voice? I'm speaking with passion. No, you're not. You're yelling. What's with all these hand gestures? That's how I talk to my dudes. Or you can blame
it on your culture like my husband did. I'm Jamaican. This is how we talk.
I'm Nigerian. We talk with our hands. Listen, I'll use the Nigerian aspect. My dad was a brilliant geophysicist, worked for the World Bank. My mom is an occupational therapist, still practicing. In a time where they were very traditional. My mom had 4 kids, right? Me, 2 brothers, a sister. There was still food on the table. She cooked all of the meals, still had her career, still ran that household. And my dad was still dad. And this was doing business trips all over the world, still in contact. There was never a moment. They were married for 42 years until he passed away. So I'm tired of women saying that a woman is diminished if she does all of this successful business and then is a homemaker too. That's not something to be reviled. It's something to be revered. And my dad revered my mom, not because she had food on the table, because she could create a household where the kids grew up, all college educated, where he contributed where she asked him to. She had her own voice inside that house and outside of it. Her word what went.
When you have 2 working parents in the home, who do you believe has more response? And we're talking heterosexual relationships right now, but who do you believe has more on their plate, men or women?
Depends on what they're working at.
Just daily tasks of responsibilities.
Again, it depends, but usually it's the women. More often than not, it's the woman.
Okay.
So to that point, it should be the woman who is talking about what she needs, what she requires.
Correct.
Because as you said,
she should be asking for what she needs. 1,000%.
Ask, tell, and understand that this headache that you're bringing to me, because it's going to be a headache. And why do I say that? It's because of the way men process. You are bringing something to me that I maybe never considered. You are bringing something to me that maybe I do not understand.
Yeah.
Bring that headache like an Advil. Coat that bitter aspirin in some sweet coating so that I can process it. Not because if you don't do it, I dislike you, but it's easier for me to process. Mary Poppins, spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Bring me the medicine that you want me to take with a spoonful of sugar until I can understand and read your mind or your body language that this is what you want now and this is how you want it. You're the only one who knows what she's feeling, hopefully, what she's thinking, and what she requires. If you've put it on us to determine that for you, history shows we ain't never done a good job.
Yeah, you're not going to get your needs met.
We're now in the modern era.
I'm preaching that so much because we have this illusion of, if you think for me, it's more romantic. If you think for me, it's love. If you think for me, I don't have to tell you. It feels so much better.
Until you get what you don't want.
Until you get what you don't want.
Right.
And I have to help women in the sense of, you guys think so differently. Things that register for us don't even show up on your radar.
Not even in our Venn diagram. There's
not
no color
at all.
on the brain
And
scan.
we are so offended by that sometimes that we our emotions take over, and we don't handle situations all the time appropriately. But one of the things that I encourage is the spicy sandwich, right? We have some a request for help or constructive feedback, and what it looks like is affirming you, letting you know how amazing you are at the thing that we appreciate. Baby, can I also get your help with X, Y, and Z? It makes me feel so, more empowered or relieved when you help me with X, Y, and Z. Once again, you're the king of the castle. I appreciate you so much. Then the last part, get you to buy into it and consent. Are you comfortable with that?
Who, me as a man?
No, that's the question that we ask at the end.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with what I just requested?
Absolutely.
Right? Like, are you comfortable with, but that has to be the end of the spicy sandwich. So the last part has to be him agreeing.
Okay.
Do you understand why?
Because now it's on us because we have agreed to this new contract or new bargain or new way of doing things.
Yeah.
And so it also puts a lot of power back on the man that he feels like he is in control because he agreed to it. Totally get it. Oh, listen, like, I get that. But I think what would help women is, regardless of whether men like sports or don't like sports or play sports, we all understand the idea of a coach.
Yep.
Okay? We've been coached all our lives in some form or fashion, even if it's just music, right? If the coach comes to us and says, hey, man, I know you're trying hard, but I want you to do this, we get that.
Yeah.
If the coach comes to us and says, hey, that sucked, and walks away, we resent that coach because you haven't told us the why.
Yeah.
Men need the why. I'm not saying women will always have the why, but to your point, lead with love. If you say, hey, honey, I like this, I don't like that, I'm more apt to listen.
The why is important.
Why is crucial.
So here's the thing with the
Not
why.
the what.
Here is how, you say, we're just going to say you're in your masculine energy. I am man, hear me roar. And I need you to actually I need you to consent to something and help me with something that you might not necessarily want to do. What the why does, right? And when we put it, I frame it as a factual disclosure versus emotional disclosure. I need you to pick our son up by 4:00 because he has to go to tutoring by 5. That's a why, but that's factual disclosure. If I frame it with the spicy sandwich and I give it to you through emotional disclosure, baby, I appreciate when you help me, with the pickup hours. It relieves me. I'm able to do my podcast. Once again, you're so great at helping me. Are you comfortable with that? Then going into the you doing this for me, you rescuing me today makes me come home so much relieved, stress-free. I want to take you down tonight. Like, the emotional disclosure is the part that tells you how it makes me feel, right? I don't care if I want to lick you from up and down, or I can let my hair down, right? It takes so much off my plate and allows me to be freer with my guests when I'm in the studio, when you help me out. The why actually helps you guys remember the task. While factual disclosure makes it more efficient, the emotional disclosure makes it make sense to you and actually makes you softer.
It gives us purpose. Like, it's the whoa moment. Every single man needs whoa. Words of affirmation. To go back to that coaching, when the attaboy, we all as men, you may not like it, women, you may not understand it. We all grew up with the attaboy, that pat on the back, that way to go, champ.
Yeah.
Every single man craves it. We crave it maybe in different ways, and everybody's words of affirmation may resemble different things, but we need them. They are like oxygen.
Yeah.
They are Like, if you think women love compliments, men really love compliments,
Yep.
and really love compliments from their lady. So if you say, wow, honey, that was a great, I love that you did this for me. This man will walk through fire for you. This man will, over hot coals, burning, whatever. Those words of affirmation are so important, because as a man, we do not get words of affirmation that often.
Yeah.
Right? In the world we live in, I'm not going to go to the black man living in America. I'm not going to do all of that.
Let it out.
But words of affirmation, especially from our partner, that level of appreciation changes the atmosphere. It changes the chemistry between us. And women are it feels that a lot of women are so caught up in this idea, why I got to tell this man he's special? Like, you special. Why do I got to tell you you're special? Like, you need it just as much as we. Again, can't have it one way if you're not willing to give.
Yeah.
This thing is a partnership. Sometimes 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, whatever. But 100%, men need words of affirmation. And if you want to get your man to do something, lead with that. You may not like to, but what do you like more? The fight that's going to happen, or knowing that your partner requires this, and what you really need is the help or the whatever it may be.
Yeah.
If all it takes is a little word of affirmation, do it.
I say, I don't know about you, but I like to get my way. I like to get my need met. So what do I got to do to get there?
Right. Like, are we going to fall out? We going to fall out because you don't want to give a word of affirmation?
But here's the thing, and this is why it relates back to the success part, though. I think that we are exhausted. And as women, I think that we've had to encourage and coddle employees and team all day long.
Now you're talking about the successful woman out
successful
woman out in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't think, back to the part about we understood, right? That because we still did, us getting the success didn't take away from the fact that we need romantic partnership. Mm-hmm. I don't think that we knew, like, oh, the way that we handle our employees or our colleagues, we actually need to take that same thoughtfulness when we come home. The same way that you're not just gonna, you're gonna put thought into that email because you know you're gonna get rid of by HR if you don't affirm them and encourage them, because that's what good leadership is. Mm-hmm. That can still apply to your relationship as well. This person needs to be affirmed. This person needs to be supported. This person needs to be told how amazing they are, because they're more effective when you do that.
Yeah, it beggars the mind that women can manage so well all of these things, yet cannot manage their relationships. You manage schedules and doctor's appointments and all of these things that men have no clue about, don't even think about. Women have been doing this since forever. You manage, the successful woman who's out in the business world is managing all her employees, and you can't manage your husband's needs. Now, what you'll say is, why should I have to? Because I'm your husband.
That will be there.
Because I'm your husband.
Because you chose me?
Yeah, because you want to stay, because the two of us together is better than us apart. That's why you manage it. Just like you manage it with Rick at accounting, who you can't stand. But you need Rick because Rick might be the best accountant, even though he's quirky and whatever. We do this professionally.
Correct.
We refuse to do it personally.
Correct.
And that, to me, again, beggars the mind, because what then happens is you put it on the man and say, well, he should, or stop with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
Yeah.
Just focus solely on what it is that you need or require in this moment. What is the best way to get it? What is the way for you as a woman to get the most out of either your man or this relationship without the least struggle, stress?
That's the part I get. What's going to cause me the least amount of struggle? What do I need to do? What do I need to say?
and you can complain and say, why should I have to? Because he's not perfect.
And you don't have to necessarily mean it. Like, I'm not going to lie. I
lie to my husband.
I be telling my women, pretend to care. They'll be like, why do I gotta? Because you need to pretend to care. Because guess what? My husband pretends to care when I'm venting about something. He don't care what Didi got going on, but he's pretending to care because he wants me to be happy, because he knows his needs are gonna get met. If I feel supported, we pretend to care sometimes in relationships, because you don't always feel like doing it.
We pretend, like, when did society, or when did it some magical thing happen where everyone wants to be so in their feelings and all these feelings are valid? No, your feelings aren't always valid. right? Feelings aren't facts. They are not. The way you feel in that moment, it may not even be factual. You might be reading the situation completely wrong. Therefore, your feeling is unjustified. We should be able to say that. You should be able to accept it, and the man should also understand how to tell you that or explain himself so that you receive it. Where we've got this disconnect is the communication and the reception, where one person is expecting that dreaded E word, expecting it to be this way. And if it doesn't come in this package, I'm done with it. I can't. And what that does, especially with online dating or the fact that this man is scared of my stuff, is it puts you at square one every single guy you meet. Because the moment that you blow the situation up because he doesn't come as that prepackaged Superman, you are then starting from ground zero with the next guy. So there's no build, there's no creation, there is no legacy of understanding that all good relationships require. And so that's what it is. It's not your success. It's never been your success. And again, this is not to say that they're not bad men out there. I'm not absolving men of their F-boy status.
Some scumbag stuff that they be doing.
But the thing about it is you chose that scumbag.
But at the end of the day, too, you guys are men. And I think that we want more from y'all, I'm not going to lie, that you are capable of because you haven't been taught or what I like to say guided.
I would also say, let's never assume what we've been taught. Because if you assume what we have been taught, then you are moving away from what you need. What I might have been taught, how to please a woman, how to be a man or whatever, might all be 100% correct, but it might not be what you need. So each relationship requires you to teach me about you.
Agreed.
What you need, what you and how you want
You're
it.
only prepared as your last partner. Like what the previous woman before me, they prepared you. And if they weren't good teachers, then it is on me if I choose you.
And prepared me for her. They didn't prepare me for you.
Correct.
Like, that's the other thing. Like, there's some people who love to hold hands. Nah, don't touch me, you sweaty palms. Like, everybody needs something different. Whoever you're with in that moment, I would challenge all successful women. Can you be in that moment with him? Forget like what should happen. Can you be in that moment with the man that you say you care about, or he says he loves you, or you say you love him? And again, we're talking about heterosexual relationships. Can you be in that moment and say, this is what you want, this is what you need? Because if you can't, that's not him. If you say, well, he hasn't created this, forget all that. He didn't create a space because he doesn't know. Maybe he doesn't know.
He don't know how to create.
Yeah, maybe I don't know how to build it. You know, Jesus was a carpenter. I don't do builds. like maybe I don't know. But if you don't, and again, that's a you thing. If you don't feel like you have the space to speak, what you doing there? That's not on him. That's on you. You're staying in a space where you feel stifled or you can't speak or you can't say what you want. That's you. That's not him.
Also, how can you test for your influence if you don't speak on your behalf? If you don't self-advocate and coach him, right?
Serious? Coach. Like with a whistle. Yo, you want to therapy, put on a striped shirt like a ref.
I'm going to give y'all a spicy tip right here, okay?
Spicy.
So you brought up a good point earlier. I'm huge on giving affirmation. But a spicy tip that goes even further is instead of because maybe he's not good with words of affirmation or not receptive to it, but you will go even further if you allow him to hear you affirming him to your folks, to your friends, to your family, right? So maybe I'm not directly saying how great of a leader you are, you know, maybe you're not receiving it that way, or, you know, oh, baby, I appreciate you throwing out, you know, the trash, or, you know, helping me with, you know, Princeton picking up. But girl, let me tell you, today was a breeze because I didn't have to worry about getting Prince and my husband helped me. Like, yes, he showed up today. Let me tell you how quickly that man comes downstairs.
Let me overhear you tell your friend how I folded you up like a beach chair and watch you get the whole lawn mowed, house painted, car washed, rotation time. Like, again, we as men are simple creatures when it comes to what we need. Compliments. Like, I know people be like, man, nah, man, I'm tough, man. No, you're not, Rocco.
Just this morning,
you're not.
My husband was challenging me. This is the first day of school for my son for TK. And I'm like, it's so important that you come with me, like, not just for, you know, his memories, but for mine as a mom. I'm not trying to look like, you know, I don't got a man. Like, I was giving him all of the reasons or whatever. And begged and pleaded because he had a meeting at very close windows of the time. But I pleaded my case and my spicy sandwich and I did all the things. Fast forward to today, I am getting my makeup done and I allow him to hear how grateful I am that he put the family first ahead of that meeting. And I still talked about how I had to like, convince him, but that he did it. And that's what matters to me the most, that he values this family. And I know he was listening downstairs or whatever. But guess what? I want him to show up to another family event that he needs, so this is how you motivate him as well. Let him over here.
Just like, again, I'm going to give an old reference, E.T. with the Reese's Pieces. A lot of the times we are alien to one another.
I know.
The way we process, the way we see things, like 100%. Like, grab our butt every now and again, right? Feel me up every now and again, because men enjoy, like, especially when it comes from their lady.
Hey, treat him like a piece of meat, he's saying.
Every so often, if you objectify your man every so often, if you make him feel special or
This is a
seen,
spicy tip from Segun.
yeah, this is how you get your man to mow the lawn and repaint the house and do whatever it is. Like, if you make him feel special, as you said, outside where other people can hear it, he feels intrinsically in his heart that you see him as special,
Correct.
that you see him in a way that's so great that it forces you or compels you to say something to strangers. I will storm the castle walls for you.
Yep.
But if you are not doing that and wanting that in return, what are we talking about here? Like, that's not a partnership. And we can say, oh, well, like, men before didn't need to. Men before never had to ask that because women said that. Your mom, my husband is this. Like, no, Mr. Charles, Mr. Henry would not allow that. Like, you would hear that from women. You don't hear that from women anymore.
Brag on your partner. Brag on your partner.
You don't. You hear all these groups of women getting together and be like, we don't need a man.
Yep.
Forget about need. Do you want one? Like, do you want, like, all you ever hear is like, I don't need a man to do this. I don't need a man.
But do you want one?
Do you want, like, you don't need a man to change your top. Do you want him to? You don't need a man to mow your lawn. You don't need a man for a great many things. Do you want one? Because if you truly want one, just like if we want a woman, I can't approach a woman no class, hair, looking like a mess. If I want someone of class, of substance, I have to approach her with class and substance. If you want a man in the framework of the way you say you want a man, if you do want one, those men have requirements too. Why not approach him that way? Especially if you know it'll work. Like, we are playing a game. You already know the rules.
You really do have to learn how to speak to them, though. I do think that the language is so important, and we have to take the time to deliver it in a way that you guys can receive. I think that that's imperative. And I think women are starting to be more and more open to that and realizing that you're just not going to think on our behalf, feel on our behalf, and we don't have to have any part of it. Once again, we are still guiding you.
There's been a character assassination that's been going on for men for like decades now. We can look at it in music. TLC, Scrubs, Destiny's Child, Can You Pay My Bills? Like, we can go through song for song, genre for genre, where the women, it stopped being Salt and Pepper, what a mighty good man, right? It stopped being En Vogue, giving me something. Stop being makes you feel something, right? It stopped being that, and it stopped being the R&B from dudes begging, baby, I'm begging, baby, I'm begging. It stopped being all of that to a lot more raunchy, a lot more what can you do for me, a lot more transactional. And if you start looking at relationships as transactional, right? It's not healthy, number one, but number two, we become commodities and commodities get traded. And so what we've basically done is turn relationships into things that can be traded up or down, or we look at this person as, it's not good for my portfolio. And that's wrong.
I want to put, because I feel like I need to be fair, I want to put some of the responsibility on men, right? So I'm going to pose to you, yes, I'm going to pose to you, what can men as a collective do better in their maybe perception of masculinity and how they define it? What can men do better with the time that we are in, right? It can't all be 1,000% on us.
It could.
I mean, I'm literally taking that on as we speak.
I prefer it.
But there has to be something on your guys' end as well that we can give advice around it as time shift in our levels of success and in our desires from you guys. What could you guys do to help us in this process?
Bending as a man doesn't mean you didn't stand your ground. And too many men feel if we acquiesce that we have we're not a man anymore. We gave up too much ground. You can bend, be flexible, be pliable to what she's asking if she articulates it, and that doesn't make you less of a man.
Yeah.
Men have got to get out of the, Charlie said, tell Charlie to shut up. Like, just as men tell women to stop listening to their friends who ain't got nobody, stop listening to your guy friends who ain't got nobody and are telling you how to either keep your somebody or that let's go to the club. Like, no, I know, like, I don't want to be, especially if you don't want to be Charlie. Like, stop.
You don't want to switch places with Charlie.
Stop doing that. Men need to listen more, but listen, if you can, listen to her as if you were her, coming from her point of view. It is very difficult because, again, that is not something that men have ever even physically understand.
Yeah.
That
requires empathy.
It requires empathy, but one of the best things that happened to me as a man
was your wife.
Was my wife, without question, 100%. But also having a daughter, because where my fears go towards dudes I used to be, dudes I know. So when I'm looking at my daughter, I can see where, okay, how she sits, how my wife is teaching her, and all of the stuff to, like, as a little girl growing up, being a lady, all of those things. Most men don't consider, like, even the way a woman has to sit with her ankles crossed if she's wearing a skirt or whatever. That's taught.
Yeah.
Those are things that men don't process.
Yeah.
So trying to understand that the woman who's standing in front of you asking for whatever it may be has climbed a mountain you could not possibly understand. And because you cannot understand it, give her the grace. Give her the grace if she asks you in the wrong tone. Give her the grace if it comes out the wrong way, because you have no idea what she's had to climb just to stand there. If you are unwilling to, then it's not on her. Again, that's on you. If you are unwilling to give her that grace, that's not a her thing. That's a decision you've made. Don't blame her. Don't imprison her don't gaslight her. Don't say, like, don't do any of that. Men especially have the strength to tell a woman, yo, that ain't me. Whatever, this thing that you're asking for, that ain't me. Rather than you be miserable trying to be something I'm not going to be, men should also have the courage to look their partner in the eye and say, can't do it.
For sure.
Can't do it. Like, give you an example. There's a house thing that my wife, I am sure, can't fix it. It's not my, that's not in my ministry. It's just not in
my spiritual gift.
That is not my spiritual path. I'm not the dude with a hammer and nails, right? But I will work hard enough to go hire somebody who can do that, and we will do that, and we will get it done. But that's not me, and she understands that. Hopefully, you understand. Yeah, you're not a hammer, not handyman, right? But I can tell her that, right? And hopefully she'll be able to receive it. That's the burden that men should be having now. Understand that, yo, if you ain't it, don't try to gaslight her and make her think that what she wants, you are giving her. She just ain't.
Or that it's too much. Just be honest about it.
But that becomes the two-way street. Men need to listen. Women need to speak up.
Yeah.
Men need to listen. Women need to speak in a way that man
can receive,
that they can understand and they can receive it. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're asking for. You're asking that I hear you, right? You're asking that I hear and effectively make a change to whatever behavior has gone awry that you don't agree with. The only way I can do that is if I receive what you say and then understand the why it bothers you, the why changing what I've either done forever. By changing it, how will it help you? And that requires conversation, communication, and what I would also say, concise. Like, these aren't long, drawn out things. Let's just keep it concise. And the why.
Get to the bullet points.
Get to the bullet points, but the why is always concise. The why is like, yo, this bothered me. Why? It made me feel, or
X, Y, and Z.
I will use this line because it did not click on me. This clicked for me as one of my dear, dear friends, and she's fabulous and incredible and accomplished. And she said that when a man is late to pick her up, it takes her back to when her dad would be late to pick her up because her parents were divorced.
Yeah.
So whenever that happens, rational or not, it triggers something in her. And it bothers. So she tells men, if you say you're gonna be there at 7, 6:55, bruh, be there at 6:55, because every minute after 7 is a minute that takes me back to a place I never want to go again.
Yeah.
But she can say it. So now when a guy shows up late, he knows.
He's aware.
He knows, and he shows up with an apology. He shows up with, something. He shows up ready to make amends for what he did wrong because he knows how much it means to her.
And if he then demonstrates that he doesn't care, like no regard.
Boom, gone.
Well, now we know we're not compatible because I need somebody who actually cares.
I would also say, women, stop telling yourself and not for men. That ain't going to change.
Yeah.
That ain't going to change. Like,
but you need to test for that early on. Early on in the dating process, you can test for his input. You can test for his ability to provide and serve. Mm-hmm. If he's not willing to do that while you guys are dating in the early phases, just because you give him a baby and put a ring on it, he is not then going to click and start serving you then.
No, he's not. And is that what you really want? Like, it's okay to say, I want a traditional man, or I want a traditional relationship, or whatever tradition is. I want the man to be the head of the household. And in return, you gonna do what? Like, you gonna be a pampered princess, or you gonna be at that stove cooking, whipping something up? Are you gonna make sure that our children are what? Like, if we want tradition, or if we want what has looked like tradition for years, that's okay to say, but understand what comes with it. Mm-hmm. If you want modern, that's okay to say, understand what comes with it. So many women understand their rights, do not understand their responsibilities, right? You understand, you have the right to do tons of stuff. There's a responsibility that comes if you do it.
This is
like,
true.
you can talk to me crazy.
And I think
but
what do those results look like? I think that dialogue needs to happen as well. Like, if I'm asking for this framework, okay, well, what comes with that? Mm-hmm. What do you believe comes with it? This is what I believe comes with it. Let's see if we're both in agreement.
Absolutely.
What comes with that? But there's not enough of those conversations.
Because y'all be making it seem like men don't want to listen. Like, we do.
Okay.
We won't hear you. Do y'all know what y'all want to say?
I'm going to say this. Let me put it in a way that your cute little ears understand.
They are cute. See?
Oftentimes in communicating with you guys, if you are unprepared for serious conversations, emotional conversations, those sometimes do need to be scheduled. You guys need to actually be prepared in advance before we lay some heavy things on you. Because if you are in like left brain over right, or not in your feminine, you're in your masculine in that very moment, getting you to pivot, right, isn't as easy. I wasn't prepared for this conversation, so now you want me to show up with extreme sensitivity. I think sometimes we can ask permission, hey, later on I want to talk to you about a sensitive topic. Can you free up that space for me? And now you guys are actually prepared to, okay, I need to receive her late. It's more ritualistic. I need to receive her later. Like, but sometimes when we throw you guys off, and we don't get the response that we wanted in that very moment, it does make it a little bit challenging. Now, to say that you guys are incredible listeners, if you are not prepared for that conversation, it makes you more challenged with the listening. But I also think that there's a certain expectation that you even have of us, that sometimes we're going to be nagging or annoying, or, oh, here she goes again, complaining. So,
are you a nagger, though?
When it needs to be delivered,
like, are you a habitual complainer? Because most men don't default to she's a nagger, she's a complainer, unless she nags and complains on a regular basis. That's not most men's default.
When any form of constructive feedback is given, or something is met with that doesn't sound appreciative or grateful.
On whose side? Like, if
on the males, right? Like, the woman does not deliver maybe gratitude or appreciation, and she's just puts in a request or maybe has a complaint about something. Mm-hmm. There is a certain level of sensitivity that happens,
but do you know why?
Go ahead and give me that.
In that moment that you voice your displeasure, just as you are entitled to your feelings, the man typically feels, especially if I'm with you, that I've let you down.
Correct.
And it takes men back to the failure emotion of...
Because their aim is to please you.
Aim is to please, their aim is to succeed.
Which is why we should start with the pleasure and then go to the constructive feedback.
And understand, again, as we've been talking about, a lot of this is understanding, but the scheduling works for some. And you're right. It's getting the framework, getting the frame of mind to speak to that.
Or just understanding your partner and what they need. How do they need information delivered? When, where,
100%.
why? What's the environment?
Right.
But the other element that we have to take into account is your mother.
Ooh.
How did the woman you grew up with in your household communicate with you, and was she effective with that?
With fists and belts. No, I'm kidding.
So
okay.
if I come aggressively towards you, will you see that as confrontation, right? Just on the delivery and the language that I use, will it take you back to childhood self, and now you're like, oh, I'm in trouble again? Because your mom used to come at you with belts and fists and trees,
But any man, if you come at me aggressively, I'm immediately going to defense mode. That's how men are.
Absolutely.
So,
but as women, we need to take that into account, though, because we forget the role your mama had played on you, the role that all your ex-girlfriends played.
But you also forget that we men.
Yeah.
Like if a girl goes, girl, like women don't aggressively confront women or speak with aggression with the same consistency as men do to other men. Almost in all of our interactions, whether they're playful, joyful, men will talk aggressively to other men.
Yeah.
And we react like, yo, get out of my face with that. Like that's so again, when you approach us in that way, that's a hard lizard brain thing to not be. Should you have to? Let's not talk about the shit or what is. That's just who men, at majority.
Understanding who your audience
is.
Yes, that's always my biggest takeaway.
But a lot of it is the willingness to be vulnerable and say, this is what I need on both sides.
Yep.
You want to talk to me about something that's super emotional, that's super in-depth. And for me, I'll speak for me. If my wife came to me and said, I can see that you're busy. I want to talk about something that's super important. Let's talk about it an hour later. What that would do to me, it may not do to other men. What I hear in that is she thinks I'm too busy to listen to this thing that's a big deal to her. So what I, the pleaser, whatever, would say is, I'm not too busy here. Let me turn this off, whatever. Now, what that will do to her will kick off another dom. Now I've stopped him from watching the game or doing something he wants to do. And now everybody's in their feelings the wrong way. But in real time, what needs to be said is, hey, honey, I would really, I really need to talk to you. Leave off but I can see you're busy. Don't make the assumption that hey, honey, I'd really.
See, but that's particular to you. I think that's particular to your marriage.
But knowing your partner. Hey, honey, I really need to talk to you. Could we talk about this?
Yeah.
And give the space for the man to then say, I'm busy
His
right
consent.
now. Can I? Because as you said earlier, that consent makes me feel the illusion of control. But again, we as individuals, men, and you had said this earlier, what can men do? Stop thinking for these women. Stop imagining, assuming. Like, ask direct questions, hope for direct answers. Hopefully the woman is going to give it to you. But don't walk up to him and say, oh, okay, I can see you're busy right now. You don't know if she's too busy to hear you, and you don't know what that's going to trigger. Let's speak directly with the right tone and appropriate, and again, the appropriate grace given on either side. Where if you think, and here's the thing that really pisses me off as a guy, but if you think I'm really busy, why bring it to me now? Like, if you're going to say, hey, I really need to talk to you, but I guess
last 10 seconds, he would be like, no. What we're going to do is talk about it right now, because I already know that.
But that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Right?
He'll have FOMO. He'll be like, no, okay, I need to know right this second.
I'll stress about it later. If you're like, let's talk in an hour, that means this whole hour I could be watching the game. I'm thinking like, oh my God, what you want to talk to me about? So don't make the assumption. If you know your partner, don't say, hey, I can see that you're really busy, but I'd like to. Well, again, boo, if you see I'm really busy,
why are you bringing it?
Right. Let's, because that's again how men think logically. Like, let's stop.
Does it make sense?
It makes sense.
But
right?
in her mind, she's like, I'm just being considerate. I'm just acknowledging that you're in the middle of something.
But if you're acknowledging I'm in the middle of something, the real acknowledgement would have not to traipse yourself into the room to come talk to me about this.
This is why timing, environment, and all the things matter.
All of those things matter.
Okay, you and I could talk all day long, okay, about men, women, all the things.
No doubt.
I need you to let everybody know where they can find you. If they want more of you, if they want to book you, if they want to pick your brain, where can they reach you?
Oh, this is great. So at Segun the Program is my handle for all things. I can make the announcement now that if you want to see me, October 11th, I'm going to be in Atlanta hosting the Beauty and Icon Award by Bronner Brothers, the hair show.
Congrats.
It is the Academy Awards of hair shows and of beauty and of makeup, honoring entrepreneurs, the hairstylist, because everybody got their girl
Yep.
or their person.
Yep.
I got my barber, I got my braider, I got my locks person.
Sure
and
do.
all of these young entrepreneurs, all these individual people are stars. So I will be Atlanta. I'm coming to your town. I'm going to be the host of that. We're honoring Shaka Khan, who was a style icon. There's going to be a retrospective of beauty and fashion through the ages. And then turn on your TVs. You'll see me on CNN. You'll see me on social media talking about different things. So at Segun the program. But if you want to see me live and in the flesh, come to Atlanta for the Bronner Brothers Beauty and Icon Award Show, October 11th. And then maybe you might see me in Spicy going back and forth on Fox Soul every now and then. And then if she, has me back.
I disagree with that.
if she has me back. But those are the places, that's definitely the places to see me. I love this whole set. I love talking to you. We could do this for hours.
Thank you.
Because we're saving relationships.
Yes, out here saving folks. Okay. You guys can always play with my Twitter. Stroke my IG at Spicy Mari. Go to thespicylife.com, schedule a consultation, click and subscribe to the show. And there you guys have it. You have just been spiced.
The Spicy Life.